Hello everybody, in this video we will discuss about security matrices. After watching this video, you will be able to define what are security matrices, describe the need for security matrices, recall which metrics to collect and where to collect them. Metric is a term used to denote a measure based on a reference and invokes at least 2 points, the measure and the reference. Security in its most basic meaning is the protection from or absence of danger. Literally, security matrices should tell us about the state or degree of safety relative to a reference point and what to do to avoid the danger. As we saw in the previous slide, the key to optimization is measurement of where we stand. For this, we need to know how each process is performing, and this is achieved by collecting security matrices. So when we refer to security matrices, we are looking at objective measurements which tell us how safe or secure is our data or information system. Why security matrices? There are numerous reasons for implementing them. Important ones are here. They communicate performance, drive performance improvements, measure effectiveness of implemented controls, helps in diagnosis of security problems and benchmarking, establishment of accountability, resource allocation, demonstrates security compliances. Now, let us see each of these points in detail. Helps in communicating the performance. That is to say, it helps in expressing the security level using a common language. Helps in driving performance improvements. Unless you know where you stand, there is no chance for improvement. Hence, security metrics help a lot in this area. Helps in measuring the effectiveness of the implemented controls. Suppose a risk treatment has been implemented and the goal of the risk treatment was to reduce the risk recurrence from once a month to once in a year. For this particular task, the risk recurrence interval is very useful metric that will help us understand whether the risk treatment is actually effective. Helps in diagnose the security problems. Usually, high number of security events in a short span will definitely raise a doubt about an existing vulnerability that has gone undetected. Helps in pinpointing the accountability. Suppose a process has a very bad security metric, then the process owner or asset owner has to automatically take responsibility of this. Hence, it helps in automatically pinning the asset owner or the asset owner with the accountability. Here are some more points. Helps in resource allocation. Take for example the customer service center. The number of incoming customers requests will provide a ballpark estimate on the number of people required at the help desk. Demonstrate the security compliance. All people looking at the same compliance report will drive the staff targets higher compliance. Helps in benchmarking. The organization's internal security metrics can be compared to industry standards and helps us in understanding where we stand against our competitors and peers. Next, the question will be what metrics to collect and where to collect them. What to collect? Look at the available data and decide what metrics are feasible and what makes sense. Talk to stakeholders, consult reference materials, and also best practices what the industry does. Finalize on the metrics to collect. Where to collect? Most of it's available in your own environment. Lots of tools produce raw data, business process, change management, help desk, user management, identity management, incident response, security incidents, etc. Let us see these points in details. At the beginning of the metrics program, you have a choice of what metrics are to be collected or produced. There are several ways to choose the same. Looking at the data available, you can decide what metrics can possibly be collected and which of them are actually useful to you. Discuss with the stakeholders what metrics they would be interested in and check internally what all of those could be captured. Consult the reference material and take a look at all the metrics generally collected by companies and decide what is relevant to you and what is required. Where to collect? This is the next step once you've decided what metrics have to be collected. Most of the data you have decided to collect will be available readily in your own environment. Lots of tools are also available that produce raw data that you might be interested in. Example, anti-malware software, firewalls, managed security services, patch management, asset management, etc. In addition to these software, our very own business process produces a lot of metrics data. Other than these third-party software and business processes, a lot of following process are a source of a lot of statistical data: change management, help desk, user access management and identity management, incident response, security incidents. Further steps are check and act. Once the matrices are in place, analyze the result, identify corrective action, develop the business case and resource allocation, apply corrective action. Now let us see these points in detail. Analyze the results. Once the data is collected, it has to be aggregated appropriately to derive higher level measurements. Any performance gaps are identified and the cause for the same is ascertained doing a root cause analysis. Identify the corrective actions. Once the analysis is over, you have the process that need corrective action. Brainstorm and arrive at the best corrective action possible for each deviation. Develop the business case and resource allocation. For the corrective action, document the rationale of why this action is the best and get it approved. In case additional resources are required to implement this action, get that approved as well. Apply corrective action. The next step is applying the corrective action. Again, the process starts with planning. Do, check and act. Decide on improved baseline, perhaps, maybe new matrices based on implemented actions, etc. Then implement, analyze and act. Let us have a quick recap of what we discussed in this video. In this video, we have learned that security matrices tells us about the state or degree of safety relative to a reference point and what to do to avoid danger. Security matrices are in need due to various reasons. When the need for security measure is identified, the question about the security metric to collect and where to collect them arises.